To begin, I would like you to introduce yourself a little bit if you have.
Okay, right. So I'm Suzanne. I live in the UK, and I've got 2 children. And by background, I'm a teacher.
Aisha.
Salam alaikum. My name is Aisha. I am from the United States, but I'm living in Spain. I'm homeschooling my 4 children. Well, the baby's little, so technically there's no homeschooling going on, but there are 4. So, and we're trying to, right now we're trying to open up a school in Granada. So, an Islamic school. That's where we're at.
MashaAllah.
All the best for that. So we know your kids have done Rising Heroes in the past. So we would like to know from you, what were your expectations before this course and how impactful was for your children? And what are the positive changes that you noticed after it? If you can talk about it briefly.
So myself, I'd echo a lot of actually what Sister Aisha is saying. So, my children, like I feel, very, very similarly that they've got a really good relationship with Ariba. So almost like an auntie type of mentor person they look up to, which is wonderful. Actually, it was absolutely wonderful, and and they feel that you talk to them, at their level, and that you understand them and you understand the environment, and also can give them the understanding of Islam in a way that helps them understand it in the right way, and and to be like better people. So in terms of the Rising Hero course, it actually went way above my expectations. I knew it was going to be good, I knew that, but I didn't think it would be that. It was so practical, and it really worked on leadership, not just that the theory level or the it was like practical. You actually implemented it, and so their first ever, I was wowed. I was absolutely wowed, to be honest, to what they did, and for me, I could see that it helped in terms of confidence, in terms of they kind of developed the ability to connect with others, and to work with others of different ages. So, even like now that, like, for example, they're working with children a lot younger, but being able to work with younger children, maybe learn to also encourage them too. So it was, it was a mix of everything. So it's developed their team working skills. And the first time they did the Rising Heroes course was, fabulous. And the second time, the topic that was chosen in the end was mental health. And I couldn't, as far as I'm concerned, I was thinking, oh my gosh, what a difficult topic.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So I was
had the same feeling.
Yeah. So I
kept it to myself.
yeah. I kept it to myself too as a parent. I was thinking, oh my gosh, I really feel for the children. I feel for Sister Ariba, how it's a very difficult topic for adults, let alone for children. And mashallah, I just couldn't believe, the outcome. I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. A topic so complicated, so difficult, that they did such a fabulous job. And children as young as 10, even the age, in terms of the age range, I couldn't see it how a child age 10 and then a child working with maybe a 15-year-old and all the ages in between, it would work. And mashallah, it worked. And then also, I guess the community element was also lovely too, that there was a group of children from all around the world, and they're all from different backgrounds and different ethnicities, and they're all working together, for a better society, to be better people, and to kind of be better Muslims. And that was, I think, really quite amazing. And what I particularly, a lot of the activities also were really well thought out, and just really, really, like, for example, if I think about the interviewing activity, in terms of the knowledge they gained, I mean, in terms of the knowledge I gained too, it was just absolutely fabulous. I think innovative ideas, and every step of the way, really. And the things that they're able to do at the end, create comics, take part in chat shows. I think things that I don't think you'd find in any other leadership course. And I think it also sets the children up for other leadership positions, and it encourages their thinking in the right way, how to see leadership and things like that. So I really do appreciate that my children were able to be part of this. So Jazakallah khairan.
Alhamdulillah. Jazakallah khair. Yeah, definitely, especially last year, the topic they chose, I wasn't sure like how this will go about. And like in the beginning, when we started, half of the team, they had an idea what was mental health, especially Hanan brought it, I think, to the team. So they voted for it. It wasn't me deciding it. They all voted together that this is the topic we want to work at. And they had to pitch the topic, that why is it important? And there were still kids there who were so young, and 10 or even 12-year-old who are like, what is this thing called mental health? Because not everybody had voted for it, majority won, but still. And they went from that, not even knowing what it is mental health, to creating this amazing set of resources for anybody who wants to know about mental health, spreading the awareness. The amazing videos they made, mashallah, which I think, they are really like good quality videos. And it's a girl, Maya, she made a 9-minute movie sharing the story of a girl, how she's depressed and goes from nobody noticing her to actually getting help and so on. And the comic and the concept of the comic, especially how Super Muslim gets sad. I'm like, wow, this is just perfect, because, there's a stigma of, they got it, that there is this stigma of that if you are a good Muslim, you can't be depressed. So they got Super Muslim gets depressed. And mashallah, like such a creative idea of even a comic for mental health. And then the talk shows, and then adding role plays to the talk shows. It just kept getting better and better, mashallah. And my involvement kept getting lesser and lesser, because they had taken completely, lead in that, and I was just watching it in awe. Like, incredible work, mashallah, these kids were doing. It's just amazing.
Mashallah.
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
Yeah, I have my degree in psychology and a master's in psychology. So that was amazing what they did. The concept and how they did that, mashallah. That was really interesting. Very beautiful.
Yeah, it just shows that, children can do way more than we expect.
Yeah.
Way more.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a good point, because like you were saying that, we kept it to ourselves when we heard that. And my reaction was like, this is going to be, and my reaction was not just this team, the other team said, we want to talk about Uyghur Muslims and what's happening there. And I thought, I don't know, this is a very difficult topic to talk about as well. So, I've learned to just keep my reservations or my fears to myself and expect more from the children, because they will surprise you. And that's what Rising Heroes is about, to giving them that avenue, giving them that opportunity to do the best you can. And nobody's going to stop you, will guide you, will support you in that. Yeah, they thought about, like, it's not like we are blind to all the problems we'll have. One of the weeks we worked on the worst case scenarios of everything that can go wrong, so we can plan to that, have our plan B's, plan C's ready for that. So my role is just there to help them strategize, but not bring in our fears or underestimating our children, that no, you are too young for this, no way, this topic is too hard for you. But just let them be, support them, coach them, and ready to be awed by them. Yeah,
Let them shine.
Yeah, let them shine.
Mashallah. Yes.
So I would like to ask you something, which is, if you can give a message to parents that are considering registering but are maybe still not sure about it, what would you tell them?
Okay, I would say just go for it. You will never regret it. You won't regret it. There will be so many benefits. You know, it's you know, I don't think I've ever seen anything, you know, like it in this course. I've not seen anything like it. And so you will never regret it. You'll if you do the course once, you'll probably want to do it again. Send your kids again.
Alhamdulillah. Sister Aisha?
I was thinking just the same thing, that this course in general, the whole Emaan power is something very, very particular in the world. And there is not anything like it, especially for Muslims. I've seen other programs that are leadership programs that I've been seeing online for children, but nothing for Muslims by any means. And the level of information, knowledge, experience that the children get is finally at their level. Versus you're in 6th grade, this is your level. No, this program and in general, the Emaan power is at the level of children. The real, what I would consider as a psychologist and a teacher, and I also have a master's in religious studies, something religiously speaking, that this is right at their level. They're at their appropriate level. The only program that is at their appropriate level.
Yeah. Often, I mean, that's what I found, and teaching at Sunday school many years ago, is just we were just grossly underestimating and just giving them really shallow stuff, rules, do's and don'ts, and that's it. And then not seeing any benefit out of it, and then complaining that why are our children not doing better? They don't care anymore. But it's not the kids. You know, it's not like this is just a worse generation. Yeah, there are greater temptations and so on. There are greater challenges. But so do we need to give them better education to deal with that. And that's what we attempt to do with Emaan Power courses.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
You're getting it.
Yeah, definitely. And so I just wanted to add on to what Sister Aisha said, so that she said it's at their level, and I completely agree with that. But what's also I find fascinating is that information that's very much adult level, you know, you'd find in an adult leadership course, is being passed on in these courses, but in a way that's very child friendly, very enjoyable, not, oh, I'm bored, you know, yeah, and very, you know, transformational, practical. And so if you can, you know, that's what I think what makes this course unique, is that it's at their level, but also it encompasses some really high level stuff that is very difficult really to pass on in a normal situation.
Yeah, that's very true. You caught on to that, because I mean, I always look at whether it's a video about, you know, even in the C courses, and especially Rising Heroes, that is it still beneficial to me as an adult? And now can I communicate that to a child? Not that, okay, you are a kid, you know, let me teach you ABC, but let me see, I learned something and it's helping me build Emaan power, lead Emaan power. Can I give you those concepts of how to, you know, for example, their interview, and that's what I do whenever I'm starting a course or something. I go and find out from people, like, what does the audience want? What is the problem that I'm trying to solve? And same with videos. I don't like take necessarily concepts that I think this is important for kids. I find this really beneficial still. It's important for me. I just learned this. I want to share this. And yeah, so alhamdulillah that we've been able to communicate that to kids at their level. So they gain now what most adults never gain. I mean, so many things so many things I see so many adults struggling with. And I know so many of my kids from my students they have an understanding of that. I mean, like the concept of mistakes that we talk about in Rising Heroes, and it comes at a time when kids are making mistakes. It comes right in the middle of when they are, kind of starting to implement, and they are not doing as well as they thought or making mistakes. So we talk about how we are not meant to be perfect. Allah created us with the ability of mistakes. We are not angels. Allah is forgiving, and we explain that. I mean, a lot of adults just keep beating themselves up on that, and this just they become weaker and weaker with the guilt instead of looking at, okay, mistake, I learned from you. Let's move on.
Yeah, you're definitely still raising me too. So, the tarbiyah doesn't just finish with the kids, but tarbiyah also comes to me too.
Yeah, I agree there. Absolutely. I find I benefit a lot also
Thank you.
from
I feel like a much
the
bigger kid now.
courses.
Sorry, Susan. Sorry.
Okay, and I'm learning myself from my videos in that case. And then, okay, Alicia.
Everyone is learning, alhamdulillah. So I think I've covered all the main points I wanted to ask, and if you want to add something, Sister.
Yeah, I wanted to ask what I mean, big part of Rising Heroes is the influence of the team, the influence of these children on each other. And I felt like that was a huge driving force and influence on them. And many kids have formed relationships, and they're still friends who met in a Rising Heroes course, alhamdulillah. How important do you feel that is for Muslim children? And I feel like especially Rising Heroes it's not just any set of kids, it's a set of kids whose parents believe in them as leaders and have made that investment, that it's not just they're thinking that maybe you will be, they're moving towards it, and they're willing to make a sacrifice for it of, monetary sacrifice, time sacrifice, like I want to raise a leader. So those children are part of this course, alhamdulillah. So having that company, I definitely notice a big impact on children and their involvement, definitely. What do you feel has been the impact of that on your children? I would like to go first.
Shall I go first? Okay, so I would say that it's very beneficial because there's other children there that are hardworking, and they've got other children that have got some great characteristics, and so all that does is that models that, say, to my children, and they model all these positive things to each other. So I think it just raises their bar, in the sense that you can do better, and and some, like, they get encouraged by these good values, and that we're there to kind of help people. So in that sense, it's really beneficial. But also, I just wanted to say, another thing occurred to me was that I remember when the kids did the course the first time, I didn't necessarily, I know that sounds a bit silly, but know that it was a leadership course. I just put them through for the course. But I think this course would be beneficial for a parent of a child, whether you want your leader or think your child has got leadership qualities or not. I think that really it would benefit any child. So if you just want to improve your child's confidence, working together, improve skills in one area, I think it's beneficial for any child, whether it's the child is you believe in them and you think, okay, my child is a leader, or I want my child to help people at a higher level when they're older. Regardless of that, I think is so beneficial in many ways. I just wanted to share that.
I guess I also meant that it's not, you could be in a course where there are kids at many different levels. Okay, I will not say anything. Sister Aisha.
Ahmed, as far as like making friendships with the kids and then carrying on with those friendships outside of the courses, he hasn't really done that. But that could be because he also has his friend Adam, who is always there with him. So they probably just buddy up and they get to know each other the best, and they're always in the same groups together, which is good too, because that's his best friend, and they don't live together here anymore. They went to another country, so. But no, it's really important to have that kind of companionship, because what you're doing basically, essentially, is you're creating a new norm for children. And so you're trying to, like Susan had said, you're raising the bar for them. And so they need to see this new norm exemplified in other children their own age. Absolutely. And that's why the hadith, that your friends, the company that you are with is very important. So you're essentially creating a new norm. So you have to have some sort of, you have to see that exemplified in others in order for them to understand that this is the norm, and that I'm not just sitting on the couch. So
And on the point of making friends outside of the course, I would say my daughter, every time she'd made a friend, and then it was a close friend, and that relationship continued. So, for example, from the last Rising Heroes course, there's a friend that she speaks to from another country, and they speak, they actually speak audio every period, which is lovely. Because she really likes this friend, and she's a very nice person, and I really appreciate that too.
And mashallah, Hanan's been in my courses since she was 7. And so now, really, mashallah, I'm so proud to see her, and she has really become a role model for all the other children.
Mashallah.
Like every class she is in, she's leading it, the conversations there. And I noticed that other girls, they're immediately attracted that I want to be friends with her. So it's really amazing, mashallah. And she's very kind towards everybody. So mashallah, really, really proud to see her develop. And so is Ali, mashallah. So Ali is younger, and mashallah, this year especially, I noticed, like I know what I felt like. This is like new Ali. Like so confident. He was leading the breakout rooms, and then the comic, it was Ahmed and Ali leading the comic team, mashallah. And when sometimes if there are delays or anything, they will be like, okay, let's catch up, let's get this done by the team. If somebody's lagging behind, they would pull them up, basically. Okay, you need help, let's finish this, sit down and let's finish the story together so we can get our job done. So really, mashallah, incredible development, especially like those kids. Like Ahmed now has been with me a couple of years, and I'm seeing these kids grow up. So that's such an incredible, hard to express in words.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Thank you for being there for them.
Absolutely. And they feel the same way. I even said to the children that, like, Auntie Ariba's like, she's a part of the family. Should we invite her to the family reunion? That type of thing, because that's how they feel. They feel that, like an auntie, like a mentor. And it's amazing that this has actually been possible online. We're living completely different, countries and worlds, but this has been possible, which is,
Alhamdulillah.
credit to you and all your team.
Yeah. Mashallah. And they call me Auntie Ariba. So all the other kids are like, why do they call you Auntie? Like, they have to call me Auntie. Don't worry. I will not like it if they call me teacher or something.
Yeah, I think you've got lots of names. There's the Miss Ariba, and there's Auntie Ariba, and there's different
Mashallah.
I like Auntie Ariba the best, mashallah. They come with that. It's much closer. Alhamdulillah. Okay. Any Alicia, back to you.
Yes, I think yes, we have already discussed all the points I wanted to ask you. And just as a last thing, I want to ask. But I think after all you have said, we already know the answer. Was it worth it, this investment for you in this course?
Of course.
So, yeah, I want to add just so mashallah, Sister Susan's kids have done it twice already, and Ahmed's doing it again this year, inshallah. And but I know a lot of the parents are like, okay, this is great, but the fees, and that
Yeah.
stops them. And it makes me very sad. I mean, I meet a lot of kids, especially in these trial classes. They're like, and then we take a poll. They're like, this is the best class I've ever done in my life. And alhamdulillah, that they had this experience. But then when the parent stops because of the money they have to pay or the fees that stops them to giving, take, or maybe something else, I don't know. But often it's like the investment. So I would like to know from you, did you find it worth the investment? And what would be your message to parents who are worried about that?
I would say 100% it was definitely worth the investment. And then I guess it's, in our lives, sometimes it is a struggle, and I've been in that situation myself. And so it's looking at everything and just thinking, if this is so beneficial, can I try and prioritize that? Can I try? And if it's not possible, Allah will provide in another way. But if it is possible, it's definitely worth the investment. Because I guess with Rising Heroes, you're getting not just the leadership character training, you also get in the you get in some Islamic values also. So particularly this course is very unique. All the other courses are too, but this course is it targets different things also, so it's worth considering to see if it's possible. And in terms of also the time, another barrier could be that in terms of the time and the effort that needs to be put in. But I would say it's 150% worth it, because it's these children they're going to be with us for a short space of time, and then that's it. What's done is done. What's not done is that we can't bring it back. At age 20, you can't put your child on a course. Even actually when they get a bit older, and then they get really busy, and sometimes that they just say, oh, I can't do this and I can't do that. So while they're young, particularly while they're young, they're more open to these things, actually. I would say that if you can prioritize it, please do prioritize it, because it's definitely 100% worth it.
Yeah. And that's a very important point, that it's not just when they're 20, it's if you have not been like doing it since they were young, then even at 13, they will not want to. Like so many times I even get messages from mothers that this is really exactly what I want, but my kid just won't attend a class or just won't. So now they are finding it so hard to get them to any Islamic class or anything, because either the kid has had very bad experiences or they just starting, it's easier at this point if you are, if the kid is, especially if the kid is saying to you, I want to, then, you must have a really great reason that you're saying no. And alhamdulillah, for those who are in financial hardship, we have scholarship options and things like that. So do contact us about that. Okay, Sister Aisha, what would you like to say?
Alhamdulillah, yeah, absolutely. The financial investment is absolutely worth it. There's no doubt about that. Absolutely, tremendously. And it's economically, it's in line with other sorts of programs that you would be finding throughout the world. Any sort of like private education. It's absolutely in line with the same expenses. And then you have this on top of it that it's made for Muslims. So without a doubt, absolutely worth it.
Yeah. Okay, Alicia.
So yeah, for me, I think we have covered everything.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Jazakallah khair. I really appreciate your time, Sister Susan and Sister Aisha. Much appreciated. Taking the time and saying all these wonderful things.